Hello everybody, and how are you today? This is Sue McCurdy from Susie Q Designs coming to you live from my scrapbook room. So how is everybody doing today? Please say hi if you're coming on the video and let me know where you're joining me from. And also if you're watching the replay on YouTube, please say hi and let me know where you're joining. And please click the like and subscribe button. Okay, so today we're going to do a card and we're going to use the mini catalog. Okay, so the mini catalog came out in January and it is current until April, so it looks like this. So in the middle of the catalog there is a really nice bundle which I'm playing with today, and it's so much fun. Love it. And I want to do some journaling with it too. So anyway, today we're going to make this card and it is on page 43. Okay, so it is gorgeous. Can't wait to put the pieces together. So I prepped it earlier today and got it ready to go. Okay, so that's the plan for today. And I just wanted to let you know of what's coming up for me. So I am having a Kits Together class here in my studio on March 19th at 9:30 a.m. So if anybody would like to come to that, please let me know. So a Kits Together class is if you purchase any kit, like a paper pumpkin kit or any kits from Stampin' Up or any of my personal kits that I've made, you can come to that class for free. Okay, and then on March 27th at 9:30, we are having a class for the hot air balloon cards. They are so cute. I just love them. So that will be on March 27th. And those are 3 fun fold cards using the hot air balloon bundle. Okay, and then in April, we're having a card class at the Hub at 1 o'clock in St. Thomas. So that's April the 9th at 1 o'clock. And that one we're going to do a techniques class, and we're going to focus on watercoloring with watercolor pencils. And the card that we're doing today is one of the cards that we'll be doing at that class. So that's on April 9th. And then the following week, I have another kits collection get together here in my studio at 9:30. So that will be on April 16th for kits. Well, thank you everybody for joining, and please say hi. Let me know where you're watching from, and we'll get started. So I'm just going to turn the camera down, and we will get started. So thank you so much for joining. Just bear with me for a sec while I flip the camera down. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's try to get that straight. Okay, so this is a rough version of the card. I haven't put it together yet, but I'm going to show you how I made it. So first of all, we are going to start out with the base is from Early Espresso. It's cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4. Okay, so what we're going to do with the base is we're going to use one of the stamps from the Notes of Nature bundle. Okay, so we're going to use this one to do a little background on it. And I'm just going to refresh my feed on the Facebook page. So if anybody comes on, please say hi. And when I look up, I'll be able to see your comments. So that will be awesome. All right. Oh, my volume is still on. So let me turn that off. All right, there we go. All right. Okay, so this is the stamp set that we're using, Notes of Nature, and we're going to be using some dies from the coordinating bundle. And then one die is from a different bundle. This is what we're going to use for the sentiment. And this die is from the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, so I'm just going to put that up there for now. Okay, so for the background, what we're going to do is we're going to get this stamp and some Early Espresso ink, and we're going to just make like a dotted background on the back of this, or sorry, on the front of this. So this is the same color as the cardstock. The ink is the same color. so it's going to be subtle, a subtle look, but it looks really good. I really like it. So we're just going to stamp that a bunch of times on the front of the card. And then we'll be good to go. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to stop there and then close that up. And then with our bone folder, we're going to put a nice crease on that. And then we will have a nice card base. Okay, so that was cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then we need some white and gold designer series paper. So that's what I used, this piece here. And this, I cut it at 3 1/4 by 6. And then I die cut it using this die here. So let me bring in the dies that I used. So this one, this in the coordinating bundle is awesome. So that's actually 6 inches, and then I just trimmed it so that the holes were in the middle, so at 5.5. Okay, so I trimmed it a little bit there and a little bit there. Okay, and then I got this. So when I put this together, I used this gold, and it's like a faux leather trim. So it kind of feels like leather and looks like leather, and it's got a gold sparkle to it. So it really coordinates well with the paper. Okay, and then I just weaved it in and out and in and out on here. So I tied a knot in the one end. I'm just going to tie another knot in the other end, and then that piece will be ready to go. So what is everybody doing tonight? Did you have a good day? I was enjoying playing with this card. And then, you know, the mini catalog is such a great idea to make some of the cards in there. So that's where I saw this one. I looked online, you know, to get some inspiration, and then I came back to that and I thought, yeah, that's a great card. I want to make that one. Okay, so I got that tied. So I'm just going to bring in my ribbon scissors and cut the end of that off. There we go. And then I'll show you the other pieces. So this piece here is part of the designer series paper that coordinates with the kit. So that DSP is cut at 1.5 by 5.5, and that's going to fit right across here. And then I cut 5 pieces of paper. I cut them at 4 1/4 by 1 3/4, and then I was able to use this die to cut them all out. And look at the texture that that has. It's really beautiful. So then I'm just going to glue all of these pieces down, and then I'm going to show you how I did the flowers. Okay, so that's where we're going to do the watercoloring. All right, so with a blank, like just a blank piece of white, I'm going to use this stamp. Now, because we're doing watercoloring on it, I'm going to use Staz On ink. Now, Staz On ink works really well with watercolors because it doesn't let the ink bleed. If you use a watercolor on water-based ink, then it will bleed. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how we do that. So there we go. And then once that dries, it's not going to move around on the paper at all. Okay, so we're going to be using these watercolor pencils that came, and I just ordered them, so excited to use them. So there are 2 packs of watercolors. We're going to use the Balmy Blue here to give it some color on the card. So I'm just going to find the Balmy Blue and pull that one out. There it is. And then I'll show you how we use the water brushes. Okay, so here's one of the water brushes. I got one that has a really fine tip point on it because these flowers are small. So that's the one I'm going to use. So when you use the watercolors pencils, you just need to color in the middle, and then when the water hits it, it helps it to spread out. So I'm just going to do like the middle, and then I'll show you how these work. It's so amazing, and it's easy. It's easy to do to get a really nice look. So these, you just need to put a little bit of water in it and give it a squeeze to get the water to go to the tip, and then you just start activating it in the middle and then spreading it out to the edges. And you don't even have to have it perfect, because the watercolor effect is so nice even if it's not exactly perfectly colored in. And look at how easy that is. Okay, so I did three of these to put on the card. So I'm just going to put the lid on here and put that away. And then for the other pieces, I used these dies from the kit. So there was 3 different sprigs that I used, and then I cut them out with this brown paper. And then I used this die from the set to cut out these flowers. Okay, and then when we do the sentiment, we're going to use this one. So we'll get to that in a second. Just going to move that out of the way. Okay, so these are already cut out. So now I can start assembling my card, and then we will do the sentiment. So I did 5 of these. And when I go to glue them on, I'm going to need to put them really close together so that they all can fit. So let me find my tweezers, and then I can start gluing them on there. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just gonna pick this up and put some ink on the back of that. I mean some glue. And there we go. Just put a little dab on each leaf. Okay. And then glue it really close to the edge. And this was cut at the exact right length. 4.5. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that 5 times. I really like this die cut. It has so much texture on it. It's gorgeous. Here we go. Got lots of glue on that. And there we go. Good. So even though I'm using like a monochromatic colors here, because it's all the same color basically, it has a lot of texture and interest because these dies have so much texture in them. And then with stamping the dots on there, it looks really good too, I think. So whoever designed this card, someone from Stampin' Up, did a really nice job. I really like it. So they are a good resource. If you don't know, like have an idea of a card to do, it's a really a good resource to use the catalogs, because there's lots of good ideas in there. Okay, and then one more. So what is everybody doing today? Did you get outside today? It was a beautiful day again. So nice. Okay, so there's our 5th one. Just press those down. And I might need to put a little bit more glue on this one here. There we go. Okay, so when that dries, those little white pieces of glue will dry clear anyways. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is adhere this piece across the front. So I'm just going to put some glue on that. Do that next. So I'm going to put that right about there. Try to get that straight. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going going to put my piece here that has the faux leather ribbon or cord, whatever you want to call it. Do that next. And put some glue on there. And then I'm just going to put that right above it and overlap it a bit. Okay, and then now I can do my sentiment and then put the rest of the pieces on. So the rest of the pieces are going to go around the sentiment, so I think I'm going to do that next. So when I do my sentiment, I'm going to use my embossing powder. So let me get that out. And we're going to emboss that today. So I'm going to need my embossing buddy and a tray and my Versamark. Okay, so Versamark ink is the ink that we use for embossing. And I'm going to use this stamp here. That's called Just a Little Note to Say Hello. And then that will fit inside our sentiment strip when we die cut it out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is use my embossing buddy on my piece of paper because I don't want to get any embossing powder to stick to any place besides where I stamp. Okay, so I'm going to get the stamp. This is clear. And just a little note to say hello. So I'm going to stamp that on there a few times and then stamp it on my paper. And then you should see that it is a little bit wet on there, which is great. So I'm going to collect my paper with my tweezers, and then I'm going to pour the embossing powder on top of it. So I'm going to use white for this one. So there we go, get some white on there. And then I just need to shake off the rest of the pieces. Okay, and because we use the embossing buddy, I didn't get too much around the outside of my card, which is good, except for by my tweezers, so I'm glad I checked that. So I can just use like a little brush or my finger to get those extra pieces off. Okay, so I always have a brush nearby so I can do that. There we go, got that off. Okay, so I'm just gonna make sure my tweezers are clean, and then I can heat up my heat tool, and then we can heat that up. And you'll see a beautiful embossed image on there. This is called heat embossing. So I'm just bringing in my heat tool now, heating it up, and then I'm gonna heat up the sentiment, and then you should see it start to change. There it goes. So it's starting to heat up now, and it's starting to change a little bit. There we go. Okay, good, that looks great. Just gonna turn that off, get that out of the way, and then we can bring in our die and die cut that piece. So that is the die that I'm going to use for it. And I'm just gonna clear the space here and bring in my mini die cutting machine. And then when I go to put that on, I'm going to put a little bit of washi tape on it so that I get it straight. Okay, so that'll just keep my die straight. So I'm going to try to line it up with the bottom row there. Make sure that stays in the right spot. Put a bit of washi tape on there, and then I can put it in my mini. So this is my mini stamp cut and emboss machine. It's really nice to have a mini one because it fits so easily on your desk. So I'm going to put that in there. And when I build my sandwich in the mini, I'm going to stagger it so the top one is up, the middle one is down, and then the other one is up even with the first one. And that'll make it catch easier when I go to put it in here, because this machine is so light, it can be hard to get it to catch. It's not really big and heavy like the other machines are, so this is really the lightest one. Okay, so that should work. Get that out of the way. And there we go, and we have a beautiful embossed sentiment. Yay, that looks really good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna get my plates out of the way and bring in my card, and then we can assemble the rest of the card. And look at how gorgeous this looks. I just love it. Okay, so that's gonna go here. And then we are going to need our 3 flower pieces and some sprigs. So I cut 3 sprigs. So I think what I'm going to do is pop that up using dimensionals, and then I can put this down behind it. So I can put maybe one there, one here, and one here. Let's see how that'll look. So as long as they're peeking out from underneath there, that looks like it's going to be a good spot to put it. So I'm just going to pick that up and put some glue on the back of these pieces. And then we'll be ready to go. All right, so where did I have that? About here, I think. Yep, that's gonna look good. Okay, this one, I'm not gonna do the very ends because I wanna have some, I'm gonna curl it up at the end so I have some dimension on my card. Even more dimension that there already is because it's so pretty. Let's put a little bit of glue on there. And just press down on all of these ones, but not the end, so I can keep that staying up. And then I'll glue this one down. And then we can do our flowers. And our flowers look so cute with the watercolor pencil coloring on there. Okay, so press these down. Here we go. Okay, so the card had one kind of tucked underneath, like a little bit there. And then I'm going to glue it right there. Turn that over. I see I stamped it on the other side, but if you make a boo-boo, you can always turn it over and use the other side. So it's the good thing about the Stampin' Up paper is it's not so thin that it won't go right through the paper, so you can use it again. So on the other side, I'm just going to move that up. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to put this one on top, and then this one I'm going to put underneath. So I'm going to put it right about here. Okay, and now I'm going to use my dimensionals to pop this up. So I'm just going to grab those. Okay, so this is an empty pack, but that's okay. I'm going to, I always cut the outside edges of these and use every bit that I can. I use a lot of dimensionals in my project because it just makes them look so good. All right, so I'm going to grab a couple more of those pieces and put them on here as well. There we go, and then I'll get my pokey tool to get rid of the paper backings on them. There we go, and get rid of that. Okay, and then I'm going to try to line this up so it looks straight on the card. Look at that, it looks so good. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to put it right about there. I hope I got it straight. Looks pretty straight. Okay, and then I can glue the last flower, maybe right about there. And then I can glue it on top. What a gorgeous card. I just love it. Okay, so that says just a little note to say hello, and so much beautiful texture on it. I could even add some gems onto it if I want to. I do have some room, but I think I like it just the way it is. So there's a beautiful card, and we use the watercolor pencils today. So some watercolor flowers. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're interested in putting in an order, there's the host code for this month, A6ACNBXY. And this is a beautiful choice to make. Oh, and I got a gift here. For anybody who puts in an order this month, will receive this gift pack, and it has a couple of ribbons in there, so a white or gray one and a pink one, and some lip chapstick. Okay, so I'll send that out to whoever wins this month. Okay, thank you so much for joining, and please click the like and subscribe button to see some of my future videos. Thanks everybody, have a great night. Bye-bye.